Alright, so this is the number system homework. It says which point shows the opposite of -5. So if you look here, we know that we have -5, so we have to think what's the opposite of a negative? That would be a positive, right? So I have 5 here, so this is going to be +5. So what letter is at +5? I'll let you guys figure that out. 2, where is 4 located on the number line? I'm going to let you guys figure that one out too. Is it between -3 and 0, between -2 and 1, between 2 and 3, or between 3 and 5? Alright, number 3. Which point is located at -5, -6? So remember, when we're doing, we're plotting points on a coordinate graph, remember that this first coordinate right here, that one always goes left and right, or left or right, and then your second coordinate always goes up and down. So where would -5, -6 be? Number 4. Noor has 4 cups of hot chocolate in his thermos. He offers 5/8 cup servings of hot chocolate to some friends. What is the greatest number of friends Noor can offer hot chocolate to? Alright, so what we're going to do here, if he offers, or he only has 4 cups, right? And he's going to, that's the wrong thing, sorry guys. He has 4 cups, and he can offer everybody 5/8 cup servings of hot chocolate to some friends. So what's the greatest number? So we know he has a total of 4 cups, right? And if he's offering 5/8 cup to some friends, to each of those friends, well, that means he's just dividing it between all those people, right? 4 cups divided by 5/8 per serving. So what's the greatest number of friends he can give chocolate to? Well, we're going to do 4 divided by 5/8. So I can't do 4 divided by 5/8. I need to turn it into a fraction. And you have to remember the very important thing we talked about over and over again, KCF, which stands for keep your first fraction. Actually, you know what? I'm going to write this over again. Okay. So you're going to keep your first fraction, which I'm doing. Change your sign, right? This is going to be multiplication now. And then flip your second fraction, or reciprocate it. And then now we can multiply across. So what's 4 times 8? That equals 32. 1 times 5 is 5. And now we go in and out. Right? So yeah, this problem actually requires some work here. Especially since I rewrote it. But let's do it real quick. 32 divided by 5. We know 5 goes in there 6 times, right? 5 times 6 is 30. I get 2, so my remainder becomes my numerator, and this becomes my denominator. So 6 and 2/5, that's how many people, but that's not an answer choice over here. Is there such thing as 2/5 of a person? There isn't, right? So what's the max I can give, or the max number of people I can give? That would be simply 6, right? So there's your answer. Alright, number 5 here says, what is the absolute value of the number represented by the point on this number line? So let's find our point, which is right here, between 20 and 30. And remember, absolute value means, well, we also know it's always a positive. It's always positive. And then we also know it's that it's the distance from 0, right? So I guess that's max clues I can give you guys. How far is that number from 0? That's on number 5. Number 6. Nisha has followed a recipe for tomato sauce that calls for 1 3/4 teaspoons of oregano. She's using a measuring spoon that holds 1/8 teaspoon. How many times will she need to fill the measuring spoon with oregano to make the tomato sauce? For this one, think back to what we did for number 4, because we have 1 3/4 teaspoons of oregano. She's using a measuring spoon that holds 1/8 teaspoon. So how many times will she need to fill? We're going to divide it by that many numbers, right? So 1 3/4 divided by 1/8. Remember when you have 1 3/4? Oh, I think my pen's running out of juice here, guys. But 1 3/4, you're going to have to turn that into an improper fraction. And the way to do that is we're going to take the 4 times the 1 and then add the top, right? So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. Keep your denominator the same. So there you go. And do kind of what we did on number 4. You should be able to figure this one out. Alright. Skipping all the way to number 8. It says find the quotient of 1,203 divided by 3. So remember, when we're doing this, it's in and out. That's like the key to all of these division problems. That means 1203 goes inside and 3 goes on the outside. As far as I'm going on number 8. Number 9. Which of the following statements is not true? Read each of these statements and you have to make a guess. Negative 11 is the opposite of 11. Remember, it's saying not true. Okay? 0 is the opposite of 0. 5.3 is the opposite of 3.5. Or 21 is the opposite of negative 21. So which of the following statements is not true? Alright, so Andy's taking a sewing class. Her first assignment is to stitch together 49 identical fabric rectangles from end to end to create a long banner. If each rectangle measures 8.3 centimeters long, what will be the length of the completed banner? So on word problems, what I like to do a lot of times is I change my numbers around just to make it easy for me to understand. So let's pretend this is 50 and not 49. And let's pretend this is, let's say, 2. So if I have 50 fabric rectangles from end to end to create a long banner, if each rectangle measures, let's say, 2 centimeters long, so if I have 50 and they're each 2 centimeters long, how long will it be? So if I have 50 and each of them is 2, what would I do to figure out how long it is? I would just do 50 times 2, right? And I get 100. Okay, well that was easy. What did I do? I multiplied. So you're going to figure it's not 50, right? It's actually 49. And it's not 2, it's actually 8.3, right? So then figure that out and you will have your answer. But again, my key here on a lot of these word problems is to put easier numbers in there first to figure out what, like how you would get your answer, and then do it with the real numbers it's telling you. That was number 10. Number 11 over here says Dora earns an annual salary of $85,608. The key here is, and it says how much does she earn every month. So if it's an annual salary, that means every year she's earning this much. So every year it's 85,608. How much does she earn each month? So remember, how many months are there in a year? That's key here. There's 12, right? So that's what I'm going to tell you. You can figure out the rest on your own. Alright, 13 says, scientists notice a sudden spike in algae production along the coast. To monitor the algae activity, experts measure the depths in meters of the largest algae colony from the surface of the water every day for 5 days. The number line below shows the depths they recorded. So for 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they recorded these depths, right? All these points on these on this little line right here. So on the 6th day, experts measured negative 2.2. So between which 2 points would the measurements fall on the number line? So where would negative 2.2 be on this graph, and what letters are they in between? That's what you're doing for number 13. It looks all complicated because of all this words, all these words here, but it's really not that bad, guys. That was 13. 14 says, on the coldest night last winter, the temperatures in Julia's hometown was negative 12 degrees. How many degrees Fahrenheit below 0 was the temperature? So how many degrees Fahrenheit below 0 was the temperature? I'm going to let you guys figure that one out too. That's 14. Number 16 says, Nisha is putting 64 cookies and 40 truffles into a gift box. Each box will have the same number of cookies and chocolate truffles. What is the greatest number of boxes Nisha can make with no cookies or chocolate truffles left over? It's going to give you guys 3 letters to think about here. This is going to be my only clue. I'm not going to say what it stands for. Just think about that. Alright, number 17. Oliver climbed 222 meters of steep mountain, right? So he's climbing up, and he went up 222 meters of a steep mountain to reach the summit, which is the top, right? Boom, he's at the very top. He then rappelled down, so he's going down the other side of the mountain to return to the base. So which integer best represents, and integer just means number, best represents Oliver's descent? So what would this be called? Him going down. Which one of these shows that? That is number 17. Good luck.